Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The I.S.U.P.K. under Commanding General YAHANNA presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026 in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under Commanding General YAHANNA. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike apparel.
The I.S.U.P.K. presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026 in Houston, Texas. You do not want to miss this one, Israel. Shalom.
Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The I.S.U.P.K. under Commanding General YAHANNA presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026 in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under Commanding General YAHANNA. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike apparel.
The I.S.U.P.K. presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026 in Houston, Texas. You do not want to miss this one, Israel. Shalom.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isupk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
Everyone west. Everyone west. Everyone west.
Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai Barakatham to all the brothers, Yahweh Shamar Alatham Bahashem Yahushai to all the sisters. I'm Priest and Officer 500 Barak Yala with the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, the I.S.U.P.K. under Commanding General YAHANNA. Since 1969, we'll be teaching you nothing but the truth about your identity, your culture, your language, your custom, everything that pertains to so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians who are the true biblical Israelites of antiquity, not these child molesting bastards over there who are bombarding Palestinians to smithereens, you understand? But we are the real biblical Jews of antiquity, you understand? And Hebrew is our language. You know how it's not their language? Because they don't speak it. They made up a language around the 6th century or so called Yiddish, right? Which is a bastardized version of our language, just like they portrayed themselves as Jews, bastardizing our culture, bastardizing our name, bastardizing the signet of our king, King David. You understand? who under him had the whole nation together, which is why, what they call a Star of David is really the signature of King David, the shield of David, Magan Dawada. And even them, they know. Because when you ask them in Yiddish, what is this? They don't say the Yiddish word for Star of David. They say Magen David. Magen, which is the Yiddish version of Magan, which is a proper Hebrew to say shield of David. Magan Dawada. And as you know, just like every Friday evening, we have a Lashawan Qadash classes where we get back our language, which is true biblical Hebrew, what you call Lashawan Qadash, Paleo Hebrew, whatnot. Salakia for the late start. We had some technical difficulties. As you know, our oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of, right? So we will do a review of last week's class, but first and foremost, what we're going to do every class is learn how to properly salute each other, right? So I'm going to write the salute, which is what I gave to y'all at the beginning and the end of each classes. Shalom Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai Brakatam, and Shalom Yahweh Shema Alatan Bahashem Yahushai. We'll go over the salute because every time you meet a brother, whether you know him or not already, you encounter a brother, you encounter a sister, it is our culture to salute each other. Really, that salute in itself is a prayer, which is the reason why when we salute formally, we have our heads uncovered as men and sisters have their head covered, which we'll go pull up the precept for that as well, right? Everything we do is biblical. From the fringes, from speaking our language. We went over that last, 2 weeks ago in the brotherhood class, right? Where a brother told the Greeks he's not going to eat pork, but he didn't say, oh, she. In the Greek language, he didn't say no in the English language. He said la'a, despite being forbidden from speaking Hebrew. You understand? And just as aggressively it was for us to lose our culture, we are aggressively getting it back. Not physically, of course, but spiritually. How? By rejecting everything that is destroying our people. You understand? And just like you had the zeal to learn any language or to learn anything you want to do, have that same zeal to get your culture back, to learn who you truly are, to learn your customs, your culture, and language. Because it is important for us to build that kingdom. Just like it was important for them to build the kingdom that we are in right now by forcing everyone to speak. Listen, English is spoken throughout the whole planet Earth. And it's not by teaching online classes that they did that. It's by murdering and slaughtering and conquering and genociding people. We have online classes. That's all we do. Every Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You understand? Mainly for Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. But if any heathen wants to make sure that the kids speak the Hebrew in the kingdom so that they don't get 50 lashes from Officer Adiyar, y'all welcome to be in the online classes only, not physically, of course. Jokes aside, let's learn how to properly salute each other, and then we'll get into the review. All right, so I'm gonna write the salute as well as I'm gonna write it with English lettering, just so y'all can read it with the translation under it in a different color, and then I'm gonna write it in Hebrew with the Lashawan Qadash characters, our characters, and also in the Assyrian characters. Of course, as you know, so let me fix the camera. The Assyrian characters, which we adopted during the Assyrian captivity, are only Tawab to know so we can read modern Hebrew text. Besides that, in the kingdom, we're going to ditch that. We're going to ditch everything that does not pertain to us. You understand? Which includes the Assyrian characters. So bear with me 1 second. Make sure y'all click the sign in and sign out links in the beginning and the end of the class. If you have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat. And to anyone who wants to actively practice and check their writing or whatnot, I'm gonna put the StreamYard link as well in the chat. You understand? Make sure y'all are dressed accordingly to be on camera. And so, like, where's the eraser? I need it handy with me. I think I left it. It's right here. So, try to write it bigger. Shalom Yahweh. Sham. Atham, which I will explain the difference. So that's the salute a brother would give to one brother or to multiple brothers, right? Just like you have the rules today when it comes to gender. Especially you notice more the difference in the Latin languages, right? Such as French, Spanish, Portuguese, or whatnot. But you're going to make a proper distinction between male and female. We're going to start with the men because in order or in the hierarchy, right, which is our system, the man comes first. So how a brother will salute another brother or other brothers is going to be Shalom, Yahweh, which is the name of the Lord, not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, or whatever people say today, not Allah, but Shalom, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, which is the name of Christ or Jesus in the Hebrew, Barak Atha, for a single brother, Barak Atham, Atham for multiple brothers. And I'm going to write the translation right under it. And remember, every other week we're going to have the classes in French and in English. So last week we had it in English, this week in English, the next 2 weeks is going to be in French. Right? So the translation is peace, Shalom, Yahweh, which is the name of the Lord. Bahasham, if you paid attention last week's class, you should know that Bahasham is one word, really more so 3 words that make one. Why? Because you have the root word Sham, which means name. And again, if you pay attention to last week's, which we're about to review as well, you have 2 prepositions. You have Ba, which is in, and Ha, which is the. So Bahasham, which is in the name. And since our language would be considered like barbaric or archaic, right? Archaic, Salakia, it should be in proper English, you would say in the name of, right? But how you write it is in the name, Yahweh Shai, give me part of right here. Yahweh Shai, which is Jesus, the Greek version of Joshua, which is Yahweh Shai, Barak, bless, Atha, which is you, singular, and Atham, which is you, plural, masculine plural. Atham, masculine plural, right? You or y'all. So whenever you meet a brother, which is what we do as well at the beginning of the end of class, meet a brother regardless of his rank, multiple brothers, is going to be Shalom Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai Barak Atha, singular, Barak Atham, plural. So I'm going to let y'all write these down real quick, right? Then I'm going to show you how to write it in the Lashawan Qadash, and then in the Assyrian, and then we're going to move on because there's another salute, which is how one brother or how we salute a sister, how a sister would salute a brother, or how we would salute multiple sisters, right? So that salute is strictly for men. Salak. We say strictly for brothers, because you have men, young men, sons, whatnot. So this is strictly for brothers. Brothers will say it to brothers. Sisters will not say this. Sisters won't say this. Sisters will say something else when they salute a brother. You understand? So only brothers salute as such, and only towards other brothers, whether it's one or multiple of them. You understand? Now, every now and then I might pan in front of the camera just to check the comment section to see if there's any questions or whatnot. So I'm gonna give y'all a minute or so. If y'all can see properly, let me know, of course. You know, just like you would let know your French teacher, your English teacher, your Spanish teacher, your Portuguese teacher, your German teacher. Let me know if you don't see properly. Don't be complacent. Don't slack in getting your culture back. They did not slack when they ripped us apart. They did not slack when they beat the hell out of, when they beat the culture out of us. They did not slack. And they still don't. Where's the proof? We're getting deported by the hundreds of thousands. We're still getting lynched. They do not slack. You understand? In harming you, in harming the culture out of you. All you have to do, we're not telling you to commit any acts of violence, which we oppose. You understand? We don't support or condone any acts of violence against anyone. But what we tell you to do is pay attention. Aggressively learn that the same way you aggressively learn how to play Call of Duty. Focus. Come to class. Pay your tithes. And your Passover fee coming up April 4th, 2026. We'll be in Houston, Texas. You understand? I should have gave y'all ample time. If not, y'all just let me know. I'm gonna show you the salute for the sisters. So this is how a brother would salute a sister. Really, a brother or sister would salute one sister. Then we're going to see the other slight difference. So how you would salute a sister, you would say Shalom, Yahweh Shamar Alatha, right? Alatha Bahashem Yahweh, which is peace, the name of the Lord, watch over you in the name of Jesus or in the name of Yahweh. Now here's a slight difference, right? Because this is said by brothers and sisters. But brothers would only say this to one or multiple sisters. Sisters would say alatha, which is singular, when they salute a brother or a sister. But if they salute multiple brothers, they would say Shalom Yahweh Shema al-Atham, which is the masculine plural for you or you all, right? And al-Athan with a na at the end, which is the feminine plural. So that's a slight difference, right? So Shalom Yahweh Shamar Alatha Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, which you would say to one sister, or a sister would say to one brother. Now, if a sister, and that's it. Now, if as a brother you salute multiple sisters, you would say Alathan, because you're saluting multiple sisters. We already know how a brother salute multiple brothers. Is the first salute that we just showed, right? But if you salute multiple sisters, whether you're a brother or a sister, you would say Shalom Yahweh Shamar Alathan Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai. You understand the feminine plural. If you are a sister that salutes multiple brothers, you would say Al-Atham with a ma at the end, right? Which indicates the masculine plural. Shalom Yahweh Shema Atham Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai. You understand? Let me see if I can make a slight we could just a little separation right here. So I'm gonna let y'all write these down. You understand? Give me 1 second. Mosiah in Christ, no problem so far. I'm gonna let y'all write these down, give you a minute, then I'm gonna show you how to write it in Hebrew, in the Lashawan Qadash. The first salute, I'm gonna do the Lashawan Qadash and the Assyrian, and then the second one. In the meantime, I'm gonna pull up this precept. We're gonna go over lesson today, the review. This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 4. Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonored his head. This is a prayer right here. That salute is not a salute per se. We salute each other by praying over each other. We say, Shalom Yahweh Ba'Hashem Shabrakatah. Listen, we say, the Lord bless you. That's how I say. You understand? This is how you know the Bible is a nigga book. You understand? This is how we salute each other. This is our culture. This is how you know the real Jews are black. Real Jews are Latinos. You understand? The real Jews are natives. We want nothing but good for each other. What white people do when they salute each other? You understand? They say derogative term. They insult each other. They say homosexual stuff. Literally, all the time. Look it up, how white people talk to each other on a daily basis. They say gay. They say homosexual. They use homosexual terms, even though they use it in a fun way. Ain't nothing fun about that lifestyle. Yeah, good night. You understand? But our culture is to want nothing but good for our people. Right? So you see with a brother, you say Shalom, the name of the Lord, in the name of Yahweh Shai, the King, bless you or bless y'all. Or you say to a sister, hey, Shalom, in the name of the Lord, the Lord watch over you in the name of the King. You understand? The sister would say the same thing to a brother or to brothers, and you would say the same thing to one or multiple sisters. That's our culture. That's why we have our head uncovered as men. Pay attention. I said every man praying, which is what it is, or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonored his head. You understand? You have your head uncovered. That's why when brothers, listen, even when I text, this is so spiritual. If I text you, I say Shalom in Christ, you will know my head's covered. I'm not going to be that lazy. I'm going to just say this, the whole salute. Hey, Yabashashabakta. It don't matter the rank of the person I'm saluting. But if I have my head covered, you don't know. It's winter over here. It's cold as hell. Maybe I'm not. I don't. And I got braids right now. I don't feel. I don't want to feel the cold or the ice on my braids, or my scalp. When my braids are separated. So what am I do? I'm gonna just say Shalom, Lord in Christ, because my head's covered. You understand? Now, verse 5. But every woman that prayed or prophesied with her head uncovered, dishonored her head. That's why sisters have their head covered. Brothers have their head uncovered. Sisters have their head covered. Even in a class setting, as we read precepts, scriptures, the sisters will see our sisters with their head covered. The brothers have their head uncovered. They wear a mitri. They wear a crown like I'm wearing right now, that headpiece. You understand? They wear a war scarf. The top of it is uncovered. Don't think that we just wear hats fully covering our head. No, the crown of the head is uncovered. You understand? To you fake Israelites. Right? We'll leave it right here. Y'all should have enough time to write these down. So what I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to write it in Hebrew. Right? So we could practice our writing. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. The same way you would like, share, subscribe and comment to whatever dumb stuff you watch on YouTube. You understand? You got 5 ribs, have your 5 ribs, like, share, and subscribe. You have 3 ribs, have them, like, share, and subscribe. Listen, play the class on your kid's tablet. How about that? Push the truth regardless. So let's write it in Lashawan Qadash. And I made a slight mistake. I'm going to correct it just now. Bear with me one moment. So let me space this out a bit more. So Yahawashi is actually like this, right? Yahawashai. You understand? Why? The connectors do not erase the, what you would call in English, the A in the Yahawashi, right? It's just how we talk sometimes, especially like we talk like black people. We're black people, shit. You understand? The way we talk is sometimes it sounds like really slang. Yahawashi. I don't even know how to explain it better than that. But basically, it's the A stays right here. The shy is not cut off to link with the I. You understand? When it's connected, you're gonna say Yahawashi. You're not gonna say it in a separate manner or individually, basically, right? That's what I meant. So make sure y'all write it properly. Sometimes you may see a slight mistake, So that's why I have to correct myself to give y'all the proper way to write it. But remember, when you write it with the English characters, it's just to know how to pronounce it. But really, as long as you're able to read the Hebrew, which we write again from right to left, that's the most important. How you write with the English letters is just to know how to pronounce the word. Because now in which we read Shalom Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Barakatha. I got it for you singular. And Barakatham plural. You understand? So you can write this down real quick. Then I'm going to show you how to write it in the Assyrian. Then we move on to the next one. Lord, how we have time for today's lesson. Salak again for the late start. The oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of. I'll make sure before tonight, before the end of the class, I'm gonna let you know how to write that our oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of. You understand? If not tonight, I might say it for another lesson for a specific reason. You take your time, write this down. Y'all should be good. Move on to the next. If not, listen again. Y'all send us a message, isupkmontreal@gmail.com, ISUPK Toronto, ISUPK Canada@gmail.com, ISUPKIET@gmail.com. We'll send the Hebrew material. It's a copy of the alphabets. Y'all practice, and make sure y'all practice. What's the point of just coming to class? You ain't practicing, you ain't going over the lessons that you learned. I'm pretty sure that you went over the lessons the white man taught you, right? I have to go to the store probably tomorrow, get a new brush. Now the next salute, I should have kept the shalom. Yahweh. Alatha. Alatham. Alathan. Shai. So there you go. Shalom, Yahweh Shamar al-Atha. Right? You have a singular right here. The masculine plural right here. And the feminine plural right here. So Shalom, Yahweh Shamar al-Atha, Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai. Alatham or Alathan with a na. Take a minute, write these down as we go over the Assyrian. Make sure you click the sign in and sign out link in the class. there's nothing better than breaking those generational curses by rehearsing the righteous acts, such as learning your language. If you rather watch cat videos as opposed to learning your language, you're probably wearing purple and gold fringes. Or your wife is probably giving you back shots. Pause. And that should be enough time. Let's deal with the Assyrian characters. And you see, over time, what you notice is that you don't see me looking at my, I have the alphabet everywhere. I have the alphabet, but you memorize it. That's the point. I don't have to look at my notes or look at my paper to see how do you write these characters. No, because over time, you understand, just like you know how to write your ABCs, you know how to write your Abba, Hawa. You understand your alphabet, your culture. So let's deal with the Assyrian. The first salute for men. I might have enough space to write the second salute as well. Of course, I'm going to separate these. You understand? So it's not too confusing. A thumb, thumb, So I'm going to separate these with this. Where is it? So the plural, a thumb, again, masculine plural. You have the singular right here. Singular. Here, masculine plural. And here, feminine plural. Right? I know, the Assyrian characters look stupid. They don't belong to us. They belong to Assyrians. When you adopted this, coming out of Assyrian captivity. So again, Shalom Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatam. right? When I start with the plural, because as you can notice, if you pay attention to last week's class, right, you do have 1, 2, 3 characters, right? Which is the ma, and the ka. Well, the ka comes first. The ka, the ma, and the na, which in Assyrian change, because as you can see right here, the ma is different. Why? Because it's not at the end of a word. But here, for example, let me write it properly. Ma and the na. When they are at the end, the character change. You understand? So the ka, the ma, the na, the pa, and the taza change when you write them with the Assyrian characters when they're at the end of a word. If not, you just write them regular, right? So take notes. Then we'll go into, what time is it? Take notes. We'll have a brief commercial, 2-minute commercial, play the Passover promo. Y'all make sure if you're Black, Latino, or Native American, Indian, or your father's lineage, you have to come to it's not you better, you have to. It's a commandment. You can't choose which commandments to follow. You can't pick and choose which law to follow. You have to follow all the laws that apply to you. And when I specifically said that apply to you is because as a man, I don't have to separate myself for a week or 7 days, right? Because I don't bleed once a month. Salakia. I'm not on a flower once a month. That law doesn't apply to me. You understand? But you know what applies to me? Is to make sure that I gather together with my people on April 4th, 2026 for the Lord's 57th annual Passover. That's what applies to me. That's what applies to me as a man. That's what applies to you as a woman. That's what applies to the children. Whatever excuse you got, fight that demon and make it to the Passover, right? So I'm going to let y'all write these down. Again, we're going to do these every week. When I say every week, right? Every class we're going to salute each other at the beginning and the end of the class. If y'all have a Hebrew keyboard or a setting with Hebrew, it doesn't matter if it's in the Assyrian. Just check in the chat with the Assyrian characters. The salute, say Shalom Yal Bashan Shabrakatha, whatever your rank is, trooper, officer, whatnot, such and such. I'm going to give you an example before I play the promo, right? Y'all should have enough time. If not, we're going to go over these. Let me know. Let me give y'all a perfect example, right? And then we're going to go over the promo. So I can leave it in there Assyrian, but it doesn't matter as long as you know how to write it. Shalom Yahweh. Hashem space here. Yeah. I don't have space. Let's not be crazy. Let's not slack. Shalom Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Yeah. What? Shine. Every class I might give you some vocabulary that we haven't seen before. Take it down because you never know when you might use it. Barakatham. Wayahawa. Shamar. Athan. And Sham. Yeah. Ha. Wa. Shai. So you salute Shalom Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatham. Wa Yahweh. If you paid attention to last class, the wa means end. So Shalom Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatham. Wa Yahweh Shemar Latham Hashem Yahushua. Right? What you do after that? You put your rank and your name. That's how you're gonna start saluting in class. If you have the Hebrew keyboard, or download it in your settings, just salute in Hebrew. It doesn't matter if it's the Assyrian or the Paleo. If you don't have it, write it with the English letters, right? So after you put the salute, you put in your rank and your name. So for myself, it's gonna be Kwa Tazayan. Kwa Tazayan. Kamash. Ma'a. Kwatazayan Kamash Ma'a. Barak Ya Allah. Ban Yamyan. Ban Ya Shar La. So really, I just say Barak Yallah. You understand? But again, sometimes I might give you something that you might be able to use in the next class, in the future class, or whatnot. So after you give a salute, my rank, officer. Let me write the whole word as opposed to the abbreviation. Officer 500. So Kamash is 5. I'm not confuse you. 5. Ma'a is 100. 500. Barak Yallah meaning the lightning of the Lord, but I'm gonna just write it. Barak Yallah. Officer 500 Barak Yallah. Ban means son. Over here will be son of. Banyamyan, which is Benjamin, so-called West Indian. Ban, son of Israel, or Yashar Allah. So you salute, Shalom Yabashin Shabakatham, Kwatazayan Kamashma'a, which is Officer 500, Barak Yallah, Ban Yamyan, Ban Yasharala. If it's a sister, as opposed to say Ban, right, you would say Ba. That's for sisters. 1 second, just erase it. If a sister, you say, sisters don't have rank, by the way. So I'm gonna just erase the rank. a name, a sister would say Bath, which means daughter. Whatever tribe you're from, Banyamian, Shammaiwan, right, which is Simeon, the so-called Dominicans. Bath, which means daughter or daughter of. Bath, Banyamian, Bath, Yasharala, right? So that's how we're going to start saluting in the chat. Every Lashawan Qadash class, that's what we're going to do. Now we're going to play a quick Passover commercial, and I'm going to see you in 2-3 minutes, Israel. Y'all stay tuned. Go take a break. Go drink some water, or whatnot. Stretch your legs. Never forget, the oppressor is the devil.
Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The I.S.U.P.K. under commanding General YAHANNA presents the Lord's 57th annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th annual Passover, April 4th, 2026 in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person, ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under commanding General YAHANNA. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike apparel.
I.S.U.P.K. presents the Lord's 57th annual Passover, April 4th, 2026 in Houston, Texas. You do not want to miss this one, Israel. Shalom.
Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The I.S.U.P.K. under commanding General YAHANNA presents the Lord's 57th annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th annual Passover, April 4th, 2026 in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person, ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under commanding General YAHANNA. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike.
I.S.U.P.K. presents the Lord's 57th annual Passover, April 4th, 2026 in Houston, Texas. You do not want to miss this one, Israel. Shalom.
All right, we're back. You understand? So we may not do the review. We're going to do the review next week. You understand? We're going to go into the lesson today, which is the possessive adjectives. And next week, we'll go over the review of what we've seen last week, which is not next week, Salakia. Next class, I meant, right? If y'all missed the classes, just don't forget, y'all could always rewatch it. right? We're live on I.S.U.P.K Montreal, Toronto, I.S.U.P.K IET. You pick it up, put it at the podcast. If you have an excuse to not watch it, I mean, maybe you should stop smoking weed. I think that's the number one thing you should stop doing. Now, we're going to go over the possessive adjectives. As we seen last week, when characters are put in front of the words, they serve as prefixes. So like we've seen in the prayer, right? Or the salute, Bahasham, there's two prefixes, which is in and the. So in the name, right? And we're going to see the suffixes, those words or characters that are placed at the end of a word, which would serve as possessive adjectives, or what you call determiners. However you pronounce that stupid English word, salaki. You understand? So these are words that would modify a word showing possession, right? Or ownership. So there, I'm gonna write down the characters and we're gonna go over a few examples. So there's the ma. Ka. I'm gonna do them 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna do them. I'm gonna do the first 4, and then we're gonna move into the last 5. So there's 9 of them, right? So since they are placed, so like it's not the mas, the ya. Some of them are placed at the end, meaning what? Meaning the character would change if you write it in Assyrian, the Assyrian characters, right? Like the ka, for instance. So ya, which is the first character, means my. The ka, which means your. Wa, which is his, and ha would be her or hers. Right? Let me give y'all a few examples. As we seen last week, let's give an example. Bread. Right? The word for bread is lakam. So my bread, you give examples right here. My bread would be lakam ya. Your bread lakam ka. His bread would be lakam. I'm gonna give you all other examples afterwards. We're just gonna go, the basics. His bread would be lakam wa, and her bread lakam ha. So these at the end will signify the possessive or the ownership of whatever noun it is, whether it be bread, an object, a person, like my father, Abaya, you understand? My sister, Akwafia, so on and so forth, right? So y'all could write these down. So the ya is my, the ka is your, the wa is his, the ha is her or hers, right? So the kamka, and you could apply for anything really. My house, bayathya. His house, bayathwa. You know. Her husband, ayashha. You understand? So take about a minute to write these down. We're gonna move to the next 5. And next week we'll be prepared for the technical difficulties. Our oppressor is the devil. Never forget to say that this should be the first thing you say every morning. That's how you make your teeth whiter. That cures cavities. I guarantee you. Say the white man is the devil. You will have a perfect smile. Smile is going to look like snow. Still go to the dentist though. It's a lot here. But you want a perfect smile, a flawless smile. You want your breath to smell not like the sewers. Say the white man is the devil at least 3 times in the morning. Still brush your teeth though. But by saying the oppressor is the devil, I guarantee you will have better I think they say buccal hygienes, or I don't know, mouth hygiene, dental hygiene. I guarantee you that. Do not neglect the toothbrush and the mouthwash though, and the dentist, right? Now let's move on to the next 5. If y'all need more time, of course, let me know in the chat. Don't be quiet. Like you acquired in your English class, in your French class, in the oppressor's establishment. This is not the oppressor's establishment. If you need more time, say it. You know, this is not the residential school. This is not where you get oppressed to learn a language. You're getting your language back from thousands of years ago before it was beaten out of you, right? Next 5, which is Nawa. So Nawa, Kam, Kan, Ma, and Na. Of course, as you can see, some of them are going to change in the Assyrian. We'll give you the example in the Assyrian as well. Don't worry about that. So, Nawa, Kam, Kan, Ma, and Na. So I'm not writing the connectors, I'm just writing the character itself, because these characters are not by themselves. That's why, you know, there's the connectors. And these are formed with 2 characters, so that's why I'm going to show the connectors which are not connecting. It's a lot, right? We keep the same word, for example, bread, which is lakam. So Nawa, Kam, Kan, Ma, we're going to write it like this. Why? Because it's going to be at the end of it. And not same thing. So Nawa is our, or ours, right? Kam is your, masculine plural. Kan is the same, feminine plural. And Ma and Na is the same, is their or theirs. The first one is masculine plural. Masculine always come first. And there's the second one is feminine plural, right? So, lakam nawa, our bread. Lakam kam. Or I said the kam kan. I don't know what right? So that's feminine. Masculine. It's feminine. All right, so y'all go write these down. Again, lakam is bread. So our bread, your bread. You know, when we're talking to multiple people, right? Our bread, your bread, their bread. And the bread that brothers made, because brothers can make bread. I am one of them. It's like it. Their bread, you understand? Lakama. Sisters make bread. Listen, Passover, good night. Some sisters may have the best unleavened bread recipes. You understand? The bread these sisters make, good night. Some recipes are to be undisclosed. And if you ever want to taste that bread, well, guess what? Make it to Houston, Texas, April 4th, 2026. You'll get to taste the bread. You understand? Maybe they will share their recipes. Maybe you'll be alongside them making the bread. And brothers are going to be like, their bread is good. They're going to say, lakam not tawab. You understand? They should have had enough time to write these down. Again, we'll do the review next week, right? Because we're getting close to the time. So I'm going to have to put the sign out links in the chat. And this is going to be some sort of a review because I'm going to give you some words and we're going to practice our possessive. We're going to practice our prepositions and how we write them in the Lashawan Qadash as well as in the Assyrian, right? So let me give you some common words you find throughout the Bible. Some of them will be verbs, and then will be nouns. Lord, next week, what we do next week is the review, and we'll see one thing. Salakia, the white man's such a devil. He just clipped the classes on Facebook, on Canada, and on Montreal. No sweat. So what we will see next week is this, right? Knowing that our language is really a pictographic, alphabet is really pictographic, we will see the definition and meaning of each character next week, right? So now we're going to go some vocabulary, and we're going to use what we learned so far, which is the prepositions, which we seen last week, and the possessives, right? So let's go with, for instance, shalom. Shalom, which is peace, right? Shalom, which is peace. So how would you say, when we say, listen, to keep the peace? I'm not going to give you the word for keep yet. When you say keep the peace, how would you say the peace? I gave you the word the earlier, right? How would you say the peace? You would say ha-shalom. Ha, which is the preposition, which means the. Shalom, which is peace. Ha-shalom, which is the peace. I'm writing the Hebrew right here. Shalom. Shalom. Do I have space? Yeah, let me just write here. Ha, which is the, and shalom, which is the root word, peace. You understand? Now let's say I want to say my peace. How would I say my peace? As a matter of fact, y'all put it in the chat. We just seen, because we're going to practice some examples with some vocabulary, right? We all know shalom is peace. We just seen the possessives. How would you say my peace? Now y'all put in the chat. How would you say my peace? Let me make a separation. We're gonna do the preposition at the top. And under right here, we're gonna do the examples with the possessives. Right? So how would you say my peace? I could just put it with the English spelling in the chat. I'll give y'all a few seconds. If y'all paid attention, it should not be complicated. How would you say my peace? My peace would be shalom. Shalom Yah. You understand? Shalom Yah, which is my peace. Right? Remember, The possessive would be one of the characters or a word which is at the end of the root word. Shalom, which is the root word, Yah, which is mine or my, you would say Shalom Yah. And if someone is asking you about, how you doing? You would say Toab, or you could just say, how's your peace? Which we're going to go over. I'm not going to give you everything now. Let's not make it too complicated. They ask you about your peace. How is your peace? Which is how you doing? What you would say? My peace is good. I'm all right. Say Shalom Yah, which is my peace. Shalom Yah Toab. Or my peace good. Shalom Yah Toab. So write these down. Move on to the next example. Shalom Yah Toab. Your peace is good. Shalom Ka Toab. Whatever, right? Of course, Toab means good. Remember that every now and then I might just give you just extra words or something slightly more advanced every now and then. Just write it down, because down the line you might have a more advanced lesson. You're going to remember it from the previous lessons. What does this mean? What does Tawab mean? Oh, I heard that before. Tawab means good. How do I say my peace? How do I say his? How do I say hers? Pertaining to something, which is an object, a state, a person, right? You know that the possessive comes at the end of a word or a noun. So how do I say my peace, my house? House is bayat. You say bayatya, my peace. Shalamya, right? Now, how do I communicate? Because at some point, the goal is to be able to communicate fluently in Hebrew, just like you do in English and French. It was not perfect from the jump. Practice makes perfect. Let's take about a minute, write these down. And we'll move on to the next one. So at the top, we're going to keep the prepositions. Bottom, with the bottom part is going to be the possessives. So at the same time as vocabulary. So how do you say the wine? How do you say the wine? You know, as a matter of fact, Salakia. Yeah, how do you say the wine? For those who remember, last week, vocabulary we gave wine, which is yayan. The wine, which would be hayayan. Like hayayan. That's like the wine already right here. Hayayan. Right? Now, how would you say, as we say in the prayers or in the Lord's Prayer, our Father? If you paid attention, the word for father is father, dad, same thing. For father is Abba. How would you say our Father? Y'all put it in the chat. How would you say our Father? Remember, every high and holy day you've been to, if you've been to one, if you're a new student, I understand. I mean, then again, if you've been paying attention, you should know how to say our Father. How do you say our Father? Let's put it with an English spelling in the chat. Our Father is Abanawa. Abba. Nawa. Nawa meaning our. So our Father It's like when we pray, this will be the first thing we say, like Christ taught us, right? But now, yeah, Salakia. I wrote the wrong character right here. Abanawa. That's how we say our Father. Let's see if I can give you a verb as well. Of course, the verb is not going to have any. Let me give you a verb and a regular noun. And a regular word, I mean, Salakia. Let me give you more examples in a minute. So we can practice the prepositions and the possessive adjectives. So we have, let's see, thank you. Thank you, which is the water. What? The space. Let me write it right here. The only reason I'm writing in Assyrian is for learning purposes for y'all, because I couldn't care less about the Assyrian. It is the alphabet of one of our oppressors or captors, right? The wada, Salakia, which is excuse me, which is at the same time is a great example. This is how you say sorry or excuse me, you say salak. Yeah, which is actually a possessive adjective. You understand? Salakia, let me write it right here. Prince. It's a shar. Yasharala, meaning prince of the power. So shar. Princess. It's a shara. Salakia. Shara. Let me just divide these. That'll make it confusing. Right? The distinction between the Paleo and the Assyrian being circled in blue. I could take these down. I'm going to give you 2-3 more examples. And then, like I said, matter of fact, I'm going to give you tonight how to say that our oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of. Really, our oppressor is the devil. That's what I'm going to give you. Right? Because Bible is a Greek word. It comes from the Greek word biblios, meaning library. Biblios, which is a collection of books. What is a library? A place where you have multiple books, or a collection, a collective, right, of books. Let me give you a few seconds. Let me just put the sign out link in the chat. Salakia. Bear with me one moment. I hope I'm not obstructing the view. Click on the sign in and sign out links in the chat. Give you a couple more examples, and then I'm gonna give you the oppressor, the oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of. If you could look it up, you will not find the word Bible in the Bible. Bible just means a collection of books, which is what the Bible is. A collection of records. The book of Genesis, the book of Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. The first 5 books of Moses, the Torah, the Tanakh, which is the remaining of the Ancient Testament. Yes, Salakia. Let me make sure I write the cut properly. You understand? The Apocrypha, the New Testament. All these, just more than one book is already a collection of books. That's what the Bible just means, collection of books. That has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with belief. It's just what they call our records. They call it the Bible. When you look into it, Bible comes from the Greek word biblios, which is why in French, a library, which is where you have the collection of books, a library is a bibliothèque. In Spanish, biblioteca. This all comes from the Latin coming from the Greek, which is biblios, meaning collection of books. See, our oppressor is dumb as hell. And we're more stupid to believe in the lies that he tells us. Because when you look at a simple Google research could help you in 2026. They're literally. You understand? Let's see what other words I'm going to give you. I said I would give you some verbs. We keep that for next class, right? Matter of fact, I'm gonna give you some verbs right now. And then I'm gonna give y'all how you say the oppressor is the devil. You want to say it in French, you want to say it in Spanish, in Creole, in English, in Dutch for our brothers in the Caribbean, in the ABCs, in half of St. Martin that speaks Dutch. Whatever language you want to say it, just say it. But make sure you know how to say it in Hebrew, right? That's the most important. So, I'm gonna give you, what verb should I give you? To forgive. To forgive. Which is salak. That's how you know salakia is what? The root word for salakia is salak, meaning to forgive. Salakia, and ya is mine, or in the context would be me. So when you say salakia, you say forgive me. You understand? So salak is to forgive. Salak is to forgive. Aisha, to prepare. You're gonna find out that some Hebrew words have more than one meaning, right? Which we'll go over in another class. For example, lakam can mean bread, but it could also mean fight, you know. So Aisha, which is to prepare. I'm gonna give y'all which one. I gave y'all Sapar last week. I gave y'all Sapar. I'm trying to keep it simple for y'all. That's it. Let me see. To speak. Which is Dabar. That Captain Dabar Amat. Amat, which is the truth. Captain Dabar Amat speaks the truth. You understand? And to serve, because we serve the Lord, right? To serve, which is Ibad. I'm going to write these in the Hebrew, Lashawan Qadash in the Assyrian, so Salak. Salak. Aisha. The bar. And Ibad. Where's the blue one? So the Assyrian is going to be circled in blue. Write these down. You never know when you're going to need it. And as you can see, a lot of words are root words. Salak is the root word for salakia, meaning forgive me. Or today you would say excuse me. Some say I'm sorry or whatnot, right? Je m'excuse, pardonne-moi in French. To forgive is salak. Now, how would you ask someone to forgive you? You would say salakia, forgive me. Once you end the ya at the end, which is mine, right? In that context, because it's all about context, would be me, would say forgive me, salakia. Now, of course, I'm going to give you Just now, write these down. I'll give you 30 more seconds. How do you say the white man is the devil? How? I know a lot of y'all been waiting for this. The white man is the devil. You want to know how do you say it in Hebrew? Maybe you want to say it right in front of your oppressor at your job. You want to say it in a public setting, but you don't want to feel so ambiguous. Me personally, I just say when I'm walking down the street, and it's like, damn, it cures depression. Why? Because you understand that your oppressor is really a monster. You know, it literally frees you. The truths all set you free. Saying that the oppressor is the devil, it's liberating. For slaves, it's liberating to say that the people we put on a pedestal really are monsters. They're oppressors. They are the devil, meaning devil, by the way, meaning deceiver, right? Let's not forget that. It's not like the monster you see in the movie. It's not like Hellboy. Don't picture Hellboy when you picture devil. Just picture the regular white man that is a crook, that lies to you. Picture the bank teller. Picture that white man at the bank that offers you a credit card without giving you the details on how a credit card works. Now, down the line, you mess up your credit. You're like, well, the white man never told me. Yeah, because he's there to deceive you. He's there to take advantage of you without showing that he's taking advantage of you. You understand? Some do. They flat out don't care. But all of them don't. They're not honest. That's why they're the devil the Bible speaks of. You understand? So now I'm going to erase this and I'm going to show you how to say, oh, oppressor is the devil. Then we're going to end the class. Make sure you click in the sign in and sign out link in the class. You want to be in the school, do your 90 days, get your Hebrew name and all the benefits that comes with being in school. Pay your tithes. That is also a commandment. Pay your tithes. That is a commandment. Pay your Passover fee. You have no choice but to come to the Passover. Why? Because that is a commandment. Salakia. Give me one moment. Now, how do you say the white man is the devil? Understand this. There's no such thing as a white man in the Bible. Oh, oppressor. Let me bring out the precept, right? Real quick, because we're going to go over the time. This is Genesis chapter 25. Genesis 25, verse 25. It reads, and the first came out red, all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Oh, person, he rebranded the term on how he described himself. He called himself white. The Bible calls him red. Esau, which other name is Edom, forefather of the Edomites, which is the biblical name of the Caucasian race or the white race. They're not white. They're literally red. Look at the newborn so-called Caucasian baby. They're all red. Their skin is damn near translucent, where you see all their blood vessels. People call them pink. People call them, I don't know. I don't even want to call them burgundy because I like that color burgundy. I don't even want to I call them red because the Bible calls them red. Right? The point is this. They're not white people. You understand? They call themselves white, like they call themselves black. I mean, I know y'all have two eyes in your eye sockets. You could clearly see that my skin color is not black. Unlike my shirt, unlike the Sharpie. You understand? Right? So you wouldn't say, the point is this, you wouldn't say in Hebrew, the white man is the devil. You would say the red man is the devil because that's how the Bible describes our oppressor. Just for edification purposes and how people talk today, you would say the white man's the devil because now you know who they talk about. And people would know who you're talking about, right? But really, you would say the red man is the devil. Now, how do you say the red man? So, like, there's a comment in the chat. No sweat. So I'm gonna address a comment in the chat in a second, right? I'm gonna just say how you say the red man is the devil. You would say ha ayash Adam Ha'ayash Adam Haya Haya Hashathan. That's how you would say the red man is the devil. Now, someone in the chat said, this is sad. You actually believe what you're saying. I believe what the Bible says. Christ called the white man the devil. He also called the white man a whore. Matter of fact, he called the white man a bitch, to be specific. It's a lie. And I do believe what Christ said. You understand? So that's how you would say the white man is the devil. You would say the red man is the devil. Hayash Adam Hayashathan. Hayahashathan. Right? How do you write it in Hebrew? Right, like this. Ha Ayash, which is the word for man. Ha Ayash Adam, which is the word for, also the word for red. Again, one word could have different meaning depending on the context. So not talking about Adam, it's talking about Adam, meaning red. Hayat, which is or to be, the word to be. Hayat. Ha. Sha. Than. Which means, let me just write it in Assyrian. Ha. Ayah. Adam. Ayah. Ha. Sha. Than, which is the red man is the devil. I'm gonna write white just so y'all know who we're talking about. Really, the white man is not white in the Bible, he's red. You understand? That's how you write the white man is the devil. Really, the red man is the devil. You understand? Let me separate it so y'all can see clearly. And for whatever reason, I tend to have the gift to provoke coons and devils. I stand right here. The person said, what? You haven't cited a single verse, ethnic and words-based salvation. No sweat. If you want a verse, I'm going to give you a verse while brothers and sisters write it down. Let's go to John chapter 8, verse 44 in the New Testament. They will end the class. You should have came earlier because the class is about to end. Next time, make sure you come earlier to troll and to make a fool out of yourself. John chapter 8, verse 44. This is Christ himself. He said, ye are of your father, the devil. Right? Salakia. He said, ye are of your father, the devil. John chapter 8, verse 44. He was speaking to the Sadducees and Pharisees, talking about the Romans, the white Romans. He called them the devil. He called them what? He called them Hashathan. and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth. You know that on the face of the earth, only the Caucasian race do not abide in the truth. You know that. Trump said civil rights hurt white people. It was not good. You understand? Trump said Venezuela has weapons of mass destruction and they're importing all the fentanyl when fentanyl comes from China. He said, we're going to deal with Tren de Aragua. That's what he said. He's going to go into Venezuela. We're going to stop the prison gang Tren de Aragua. He went to Venezuela and he kidnapped the president. He's a liar. He's a deceiver, just like the white race in general. Because there is no truth in him. There's no truth in them. Was it Trump and Biden's? One of these idiots said, "You're not black enough, or you're not black if you don't vote for me." Well, guess what? Black people are not black. It's as simple as that. You understand? When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. There you go. That's your verse. Now, you want the one where Christ called the white woman a bitch? Salaki, the white woman a female dog? I'll give it to you right now. What is it, Matthew 24? Bear with me 1 second. Not Matthew 24. What am I doing? It's Matthew 15. Matthew chapter 15, verse 26. Let me go verse 25, right? This Syro-Phoenician woman, really, this is just a fancy word for Greek, which is white people. Matthew chapter 15, verse 25. She came to Christ and said, then came she and worshipped him, saying, Lord, help me. That's what she's talking to Christ, like, Christ, help me. Verse 26. But he answered and said, it is not meet to take the children's bread and cast it to dogs. Christ called this white woman, this trailer trash devil, a dog. And a female dog is a bitch, right? With that said, we don't have enough time for the trolls and to entertain them. Next time, if you want to be entertained, right, in the name of the truth, which is exposing the lies of the oppressor, right, without being emotional, you just come to class earlier. You understand? Until then, never forget that our oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of. Blanc no se diable, l'homme blanc le diable non parle la Bible. Hombre blanco ao diabo. El hombre blanco es el diablo que habla la Biblia. Hayash Adam Haya Hashatan. With that said, we're going to read the security announcements and we will see each other not next week, not the week after that, but I guess in 3 weeks. Make sure y'all go over your notes. You'll take notes, hopefully. Go over them and we'll see you because we have a quiz as well coming up, right? To water Israel. This is the ISUPK security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. Start out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After the 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 to 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you'd like. Upcoming holy convocation, we have Purim coming up, which is the 14th day and the 15th day of the 12th month, which falls on Monday, March the 2nd, and Tuesday, March the 3rd, 2026. You can read more about it in the book of Esther, chapter 9, verse 20 to 31. This is a reminder to all Akim and Akwatian, which is the Hebrew word for brothers and sisters. to check the bulletin board in the hallway of their school if they have a physical location, and if anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. With that said, we'll give a courtesy salute to the brothers and a courtesy salute to the sisters. If y'all had paid attention, right? Mina visual Imajim, which means to stand. Mina visual Imajim Shabbat. Imajim Barak. Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai Barakatham, meaning Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless y'all. Yajamata, which means hands down. Sar, which means to turn. Turn and face the sisters if you have any in your presence. We'll give them a courtesy salute as well. Mina visual Imajim Shabbat. Imajim Barak. Yahweh Shamar Alathan Bahasham Yahweh Shai, meaning Yahweh, watch over y'all in the name of Yahweh Shai. Yajamata, class dismissed. The water, and we'll be back next week. We'll have for the next 2 weeks the class in French. All right. Shalom, Israel.
We have a gift that nobody can see, that was handed over to us to do something amazing. Take the gift, man. Take the gift. Take the gift, man. And let the Most High work in you to do something you have never believed.
I ain't even impressed what you expect. You see this shit? Hold on, there's one West on my chest.
One West world, that's it.
Fuck a street code, let a priest law. No stain, great dane with the leash off. I ain't nothing of this world, I need a respawn. I just know they wish that I would stop, but I keep going. These fringes on my calf like a tube sock. I used to stuff the loose ones in my shoebox. And we came a long way from the curbside. Now we looking from the top from a bird eye. And I can't leave my brother on the battlefield. Lord, let the hell rain, we gon' see who real. And you know they gon' hate when they see a plate. So imagine what they doing for $250,000. And we really the only ones going to war. You niggas just be talking like y'all won the war. I made love to this truth and there's no divorce. My Spanish mommy call me Poppy like a corner store. Let me show you how to do it. Said he living by the word, I think it's time he proved. I think you better use your head before you fucking lose it. And say the acting for the camera, this is not a movie. I pray to God I don't fall off. I ain't nothing like y'all. Niggas think they slime, cut their head off a python. Blame me for my outlook, never counted the lookouts. The world said I wasn't shit, but look at how I turned out. Not so bad, huh? Why you mad, huh? We go hard, but go harder for the have-not. Listen, when that oil hit your leg, then you can't stop. Your feet better hit the ground running, this shit bedrock. Man, we tried to put him on, but he sleep. Waking up the people, that's the job for a priest. Hopped out the wheel, fringes swinging like a pendulum. You heard of the tribes, where the fuck you think they get it from? Look, I'm a soldier, get the order, then I get it done. Got some big shit to split the water, make these niggas run. Why you hurt? If I told the truth, then I showed you love. Let me prove it, wanna move right, let me show you how to do it. Let me show you how to do it. Said he living by the word, I think it's time he proved. I think you better use your head before you fucking lose it. And say the acting for the camera, this is not a movie.
Don't step over the line though. Everybody, anybody, it's up for everybody. And that's not even, I got bigger fish to fry. I got people to say it. I ain't even on a rap, so I already beat the rap shit.
I.S.U.P.K. presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026 in Houston, Texas. You do not want to miss this one, Israel. Shalom.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isupk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West.